Hello everyone, I'm here as Abbie Calypse to read you a story today. And today it's all about magic rings, as I tell you in the story. Ring number 7. On the tree of life, the old wise owl awoke. They carefully opened one eye, then the other, and finally both. They took 2 steps to the left, 2 steps to the right, and shook their feathers. Then they tried to get back to sleep. But to no avail. The owl sighed and listened carefully. There it was. The faint call of the artifact that had awoken them from their slumber. Was it the chalice? No. The pond? No. Any of the coins? No. They finally found it. Ring number 7 gave out the call. They sighed again. How was one to get in an eternity of sleep when the pesky humans so consistently needed help? Maybe there were just too many artifacts. But you know how it is. A demigod comes up to you and asks, "Look, I'm really sorry. You're really busy, eternal slumber and so on. But I'm really scared I'm losing followers. So could you just embed this artifact with magic? Blah, blah, blah. Just do that for a couple of centuries and suddenly you're bound to 11 rings of wisdom." With one last sigh, they spread their wings and flew into the direction from which the ring called. They wondered what they might find on the other end. A general on the eve of an important battle. A monarch wondering whether they should give their firstborn for the good of the country. Or maybe a pope driven to the edge of insanity by temptation. They did not have one of those for a while. Caught up in nostalgic thoughts about past encounters, their majestic wings, slowly but steadily, took them to their destination. In a small flat on the 3rd floor, Joe picked up the phone, stared at it in despair, threw it down again, and took a sip from the bottle next to them. It was a well-trained ritual they had practiced constantly over the last hours, with nothing to show for but a couple of empty bottles. They were about to start the whole thing all over again when they heard a noise at the window on the 3rd floor. They got up and carefully peered out. Nothing, only darkness. With a chuckle and a "What did you expect?" they turned around, but before they could sink down again next to the phone, they heard it again. A kathut, as if something had hit the window. "Hello?" they said, and immediately felt stupid. No response, but another kathut. They took a deep breath and opened the window. Nothing. Cold air. And then a flurry of feathers, wings, and claws. With a scream, Joe took a step back, allowing the owl of wisdom to get inside. With a final kathut, they both crashed into the floor. Joe sat there in surprise, which allowed them to finally look the owl of wisdom into the eyes, realizing that a massive owl had just crashed into their apartment. They realized they felt much too sober for this. "I need a drink," they said to no one in particular, while the owl tried to get back onto their feet and into a position that was at least a little bit dignified. A feeling that was easily destroyed by Joe poking at them with a broomstick and shouting, "Shoo! Shoo!" The owl of wisdom stood up as tall as they could and said in the most dignified voice they could muster while being poked with a broomstick, "Please refrain from your endeavors," which had the intended effect as Joe dropped the broomstick in surprise. An awkward silence ensued while Joe and the owl just stared at each other, unsure what was happening. "Holy fuck, what is happening?" Joe said finally. "Excuse my entrance, I am the Owl of Wisdom," said the Owl of Wisdom. Joe remembered that they had actually been on the way to do something different when they got hold of the broomstick and picked up the bottle from the floor. I am Joe, they said after taking a long sip. Hello, Joe, carry out the seventh ring of wisdom. I bow before you. Joe took another long sip from the bottle. The owl waited for a response. When none came, they continued, Excuse me, was that not the right way to address me? Just tell me your title. Yeah, I don't know, said Joe. I mean, I don't really have a title, and I really have no clue what's going on here. The Owl of Wisdom started to suspect that something was not right here. The call might have been misleading, but no, there it was, the seventh ring gleaming on Joe's left index finger. Well, gleaming was maybe not the right word. It could do with a bit of a polish. The owl spread out one wing, nearly dropping a mug in the process. They pointed at the ring. There it is on your finger, the seventh ring of wisdom. I assume it is a family heirloom? A reward for a quest well done? Or a gift from a suitor? Desperate that his love might remain unrequited? Jo stared at the ring, nearly dropping her bottle in the process. This one? No idea where I got it from. It might have been the flea market down the road, or maybe this little shop in, where was it, Italy? Their voice trailed off. The Owl of Wisdom shook their head in confusion. This had never happened before. Well, nothing about this had ever happened before, but this was maybe the weirdest thing. So if you do not know about the ring and the power it holds, why did you summon me? I did no such thing, Jo said indignantly. I was minding my own business when you came crashing into my flat. The owl shook their head again. You must have done something, or I would not have arisen from my slumber. To aid you in your quest for wisdom. Quest for wisdom? Bullshit. Look, I'm a bit drunk, but I would remember summoning a massive owl to crash into my flat. What did you do then? The owl interrupted. Jo turned quite red. Well, there is this guy, and I don't know how this is any of your business. Look, the owl tried to stay calm. I am the Owl of Wisdom. You summoned me. I am bound to you now. I cannot leave until I resolve your quest for wisdom. So whatever you have done, we should try to figure out what your quest is, so that we can both go our separate ways again, don't you think? Fair point. Jo took a sip from the bottle and took a deep breath. There's this guy I really like, and yesterday he gave me his number, and now I wonder if I should call him or not. The owl looked confused. So the person you want to contact gives you a means to contact them, and now your quest is to figure out whether you should contact them? Yeah, I know it sounds stupid, but it's not that easy. He gave me his number so that I could get in touch if I needed repairs around the house. And do you need repairs? The Owl of Wisdom asked, still confused. No, that's the thing. But he winked at me and said I should get in touch if I needed anything. He winked, the owl repeated. Clearly this explanation had done nothing to relieve their confusion. Yeah, he's just the cutest, Jo went on. But I'm not sure if he was just trying to be nice, or if he meant what I think he meant. What do you think he meant? The owl asked. I think he likes me. Do you think he could like me? Why wouldn't he like you? The owl gave their best to follow Jo's trail of thought. You're right. Jo emptied the bottle. Why shouldn't he like me? I'm a good catch. A good catch, the owl repeated helplessly. Yes, absolutely. You are right. I should call him right now. Jo went over and picked up the phone, as they had done so many times this evening. But this time they waited until the call went through. When it was picked up on the other end, they took a deep breath, resisted the urge to throw down the phone, and calmly said, "Hi, Ben? Yeah, it's Joe here." "Oh, did you really? Sorry it took me so long. I had some things to do." The owl listened in surprise to the weird exchange that happened in front of them. They had no idea what had happened, but clearly it had helped. The call of the ring quieted, the bind dropped. Slowly and steadily, the owl made their way to the window. They spread their wings tentatively as soon as they could and looked back into the apartment where Joe was chatting along happily. The owl sighed and made their way back to the Tree of Life. They really hoped the other rings were safe. That was it. Thank you all very much, and I'll see you again next week.